Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Alma. Welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25. Where today the 4-4 and 2-3 South Carolina Gamecocks finally returned home to play host to the 4-4 and 3-2 Ole Miss Rebels, as we host a team that's lost 3 straight. However, they've lost to 3 good teams. They've lost to Miami, Arkansas, and Georgia, all top 10 teams. South Carolina's coming off 2 losses of their own, Oklahoma and Kentucky, in 2 of the past 3 weeks. So we'll see if somebody can break that trend here today. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. I know we've been running through year number 5. But that's because I want to get it done before the show 25 comes out. So thank you guys for your consistent support. Ole Miss will start off with the football. They're led at quarterback by Kevin Awosika, who's one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best, in the conference, and only a redshirt sophomore. And the way our past defense has played in the past few games, that could spell disaster for us. But it's an early 3rd and inches for Ole Miss, and they run it and don't get it. So Bryce Reeves with a nice stop, and at least we force a 3-and-out to begin. That'll bring out the South Carolina Gamecocks offense, highlighted by Ted Martino, who has 8 touchdowns on the season. He'll be matched up today against impact corner Tavares Banks, so something to look out for. But of course, one guy who's going to get some touches is Wade Mann, who gets 11 on his first carry. He's 32 yards shy of another 1,000-yard season. Now a play fake on 1st and 10. Reno finds Martino across the middle. That's a good strike of 22. As the former Jacksonville State transfer gets us out to the 46. The pistol next play, here's Wade Mann again, who cuts it outside and maybe picks up 3 on that carry before being stopped by Anthony Robinson III. 2nd and 7, back to man right side this time. There's a flag down as he makes a nice move in the hole. But unfortunately, it's going to be coming back. Jason Zandamela, the senior center, will be the culprit on a hold. Now 2nd and 16 instead. Montesoro checks in. He'll get the toss out wide as he cuts it up and gets the penalty yards back as he makes it now a 3rd and 10. Reno in the gun. Man checks back in for 3rd down as he takes the snap to throw, and he's pressured immediately. Escapes a sack, and Reno's free. Reno's going to take it himself, wait for the Baquette block, and pick up 22 on the ground. Dante Reno getting it done with his legs. You don't see that very often. Keeps the drive alive as we get out to the 23, and Wade Mann takes a stinger on this play. He'll be okay. He just will probably miss the rest of this drive. 2nd and 4 now. Soro the primary back as Reno dumps this one short for Amari Allgaier, who gets a 1st down, sets the Gamecocks up goal to go from the 4. They hand it off to Soro up the middle, and he's going to find the end zone for a touchdown. Gamecocks strike first off the 3rd touchdown run of the season for Montesoro. And it's 7-0 in favor of the home squad. 2nd drive of the day for the Ole Miss Rebels at their own 38-yard line, as they go with a quick shot out wide. Nice move, but it's going to be going backwards. A nice loss of 1. Good tackle by the Purdue transfer, Quentin Ford. Now 3rd and 6 for Ole Miss across the middle, but it's incomplete. Good defense by Torrey Perkins to break it up. And that'll bring us to the end of the 1st quarter, where South Carolina leads this one at 7-0, thanks to some good defense and a good opening drive. They're putting it together another good drive here, but it's 3rd and 5 at the 23 of Ole Miss. Reno goes to throw, steps up, and he's going to be hit from behind. Didn't see the open Martino across the middle. Instead, that'll set up Marquise Otogwe, for a 40-yard field goal try from left hash, and he will drill it. So good kick from Otogwe makes it 10-0 in favor of South Carolina. Ole Miss offense has been very quiet today, and it's going to continue that way. They can't get outside on the run. That's a loss of 4. And now it's 3rd and 15 after a tackle for loss from Greg Bodden. And this one's going to get nowhere near the sticks. The defense playing well today. Hopefully they didn't jinx them as it's 10-0. Next drive for South Carolina. Wade Mann coughs up the football, and that's just what Ole Miss needed. The first fumble this season for Mann. It couldn't come at a better time for Ole Miss. Right when we started to get ahead, we seem to always shoot ourselves in the foot. First play on the drive for Ole Miss is a nice run outside for Joel Preston, the redshirt sophomore. And Ole Miss will go hurry up trying to catch the defense on the back foot, but it doesn't work on this play because that's going to be Enrique Leal in the backfield. Now 3rd and 8. Awosika to throw, has time, and runs out, and he throws this one out the back of the end zone. Ole Miss will settle for 3. And this is the All-American kicker, Scotty Koenig, who's a career 92% From right hash, this is a 30-yard try, and he will doink it off the upright. No good. Right when I was hyping him up, he misses. And the Gamecocks dodge a huge bullet there as Ole Miss gets nothing off the turnover. Fortunately, though, for us, 3rd and inches on our next drive, and, well, Wade Mann can't get the snap count right, so that's going to be a full start. So instead of 3rd and inches, it's 3rd and 5. A draw play, and they are not going to get the marker, so the Gamecocks will punt it right back to Ole Miss. We've kind of gone quiet of our own on offense. First play from Ole Miss, their own 30-yard line. Awosika throws this one deep, and it's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Danny Kaufman, what are you doing? He lets the receiver, Melvin Springs, run right by him for a touchdown. That's a 70-yard bomb, 5th of the season for Springs. And just like that, Ole Miss is right back in it. We just continue to give up the deep play during the game. Next drive for the Gamecocks going backwards again. The two-lane transfer, Merriman on the right guard with the hold. And this team just cannot get out of their own way. All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 16. Reno to throw, and he has no time. Sacked almost immediately by Dave Gaskin. And that's another ended drive. And you can tell Ole Miss has all the momentum right now. 10-7, but on first down, that one's going to be a tackle for a loss. Obena and Wuka with it. Now 3rd and 10. Awosika back to the air across the middle, but Perkins with another pass breakup, forcing the punt, making it now a 2-minute warning drive for South Carolina. But on 2nd and 10, no time to throw. Ole Miss is living in the Gamecock backfield right now. As on 3rd and 10, Reno to throw. He immediately steps up, tries to keep his eyes downfield, but it's going to cost him a first down. A little bit of hesitation brings them inches shy. South Carolina will not gamble. They'll punt it away to Ole Miss, who now has a minute 42 of their own to go down and get some points. After an incompletion on first down, Awosika looks across the middle with a beautiful strike. I think that was to Anthony Chesina with it. They go no huddle as they dump this one off short. That's a throw to Dale Briggs for a gain of 8, and Awosika is up across the 150-yard mark. 2nd and 2, and a short pass again moves the chains, and Ole Miss continues to hold on to their 2 timeouts. About a minute left here in the first half. Awosika with it. Throws short right side. That will stop the clock. Nice 5th catch of the day for Dale Biggs. 2nd and 8 now. Back to the air. Awosika looks short. This is just soft coverage from South Carolina. That's Dylan Hipp with it. His 11th catch of the season. From the 22 left side, this one's incomplete. Nice pass breakup by Jeff Rubin. Makes it 2nd and 10. As another throw short, caught, but the clock will continue to run. Ole Miss will use their 2nd timeout, but they let the clock get down to 20 seconds. 3rd and 8, throws it. Here comes the receiver coming back forward, and Springs will get the first down. Ole Miss, though, uses their final timeout with 14 seconds. They cannot take a sack here. On first down, Awosika throws it out of the back of the end zone. It seems like he knows that. Now with 9 seconds, he immediately throws it away again, and it looks like Ole Miss will just settle for the 3 points. This one a 38-yard try. A lot more centered for Koenig this time. And with the snap, it's up, and it is good. And we're going to go into the half tied at 10 apiece. As South Carolina Ole Miss at a deadlock here. Gamecocks won the first quarter. Ole Miss definitely won the second. And it's got us back here to square one. One of these teams will be above 500. One of these teams will be below 500 after this game. We'll have to find out who it will be in the second half. We get into the second half of this game. South Carolina does start off with the football after a touchback at their own 25. They start with Wade Mann, who gets bottled up here on the first play. Had 73 yards in the first half. And he's going to try to get the ball going in the second, but here's a loss of 5. Nice play by the linebacker Jeremy Word, the hybrid linebacker safety. Now it's a 3rd and 14. Reno to throw, looks deep right side. He's got Amari Allgaier for a big connection. Huge first down, gets it out to the 43 off of the big strike. Next play, how about a screen for Allgaier? Back-to-back touches and back-to-back first downs as he gets out to the 31. 5 catches, 81 yards for Allgaier today. Having one of his best games of the season. Back to the ground, and man, as he gets outside, and Ole Miss starting to sort of zone in on the run here in the second half. 2nd and 9 now. Montesoro checks in, and he's out of the backfield for 29 yards and a touchdown. And the Gamecocks answer with the first touchdown of the second half on their first drive, and they take a 17-10 lead. Ole Miss's turn to do something as they go play fake on first down from their own 12, and it's a nice strike to the tight end Dylan Hipp out to the 31, gain of 19. Next play, Awosika back to the air, dumps it off short, and a gain of 6. Ole Miss's passing game has been on point today. Is on 2nd and 4. A beautiful strike with a man in his face to find Dale Biggs. And they cross the 50-yard line. Ole Miss are actually going to go hurry up here after the big play. Awosika now with a screen out left side for Springs, and he's going to pick up 6. 5 catches, 104 for the redshirt sophomore. 2nd and 4. It's bottled up as Joel Preston. How good has Ole Miss's passing game been? The offense running game has been almost non-existent. 3rd and 5, Awosika looks short, and they don't give him the first. He comes up a yard shy. Ole Miss will take the 3, so both teams get points on their first drive of the half, but one gets a touchdown, one gets a field goal. 17-13 now your score after a 4-yard pickup from Mann. Here's Monty Sora with it, and he's going to get marked a yard shy out to the 50. Mann back in on 3rd down. He has the first down on his 20th carry of the day. Out past midfield, here's a screen out for Mann, who gets a nice block. Good block by Allgaier to pick up 8. Spring him forward a little bit. 2nd and 2, Mann in motion. It's a fake as Reno looks short for the screen. They can't connect. Now you face a 3rd down. Reno goes to the air. Looks right side, has a receiver, but they collide. I think that was intended for Bennett, but Paquette just couldn't get out of the way. Instead, now it's going to be a 56-yard try for Marcus Otogwe, and he's not even close. Surprised the Gamecocks even attempted that, as off the miss. Ole Miss has pretty good field position. From the 39 now, as they go with a handoff, and it's going backwards again. Obinna Onwuka, this 3rd TFL of the day. Ole Miss now faces a 3rd and 11. Awosika with a blitzer in his face, throws at the feet of his receiver. That'll end the drive. That'll end the 3rd quarter. The Gamecocks lead 17-13 with 1 frame to play. Here's a look at the inaugural college football playoff rankings this season. Both these teams not close to that spot, but a win could go a long way in getting a nice solid bowl game. 2nd and 7, a 2-yard pass to Allgaier. As you can see Reno's numbers, he's been very efficient today. 16 for 19 for 175 and a score. 3rd and 5, though, he goes down on a sack. Cam Clark with a beautiful wraparound sack to end that drive. Ole Miss back with the football here, 2nd and 8. A beautiful throw by Awosika to find the open Joel Preston, who takes a shot from Gallen, but unfortunately this play will not count. It's coming back from a holding call against the offense as they get Max Whitaker, the former Division II Northwood player. Now 3rd and 9 for the Rebels, and they get 3 yards shy of the marker off a draw, so they give it back to South Carolina. 1st and 10, here's a play fake. Reno, is he scrambling? He loses the football. It's picked up by the offensive line. Big Hill dives on it. As disaster avoided there, but they lose 6. Now 3rd and 4. Reno steps up to run with it, and he's going to be sandwiched, and that'll end the drive as the offense basically goes 3 and out. Ole Miss now back with it inside 10 minutes to go here. Only down by 4, as here's a screen out wide. Gamecocks pass defense has done a pretty good job at least defending those screens today. As on 3rd and 4, they're going to make it 3rd and 1. I don't know why you're holding up the fist. It's not 4th down. Instead, you actually just gave him a 1st down, as my math was off on that play. Enrique Leal, the freshman, was the culprit. So given the free 1st down, here's Ole Miss with a nice spin move from Springs, but he only picks up 3. Again, good rally outside the numbers. 2nd and 7, bunch to the left side as Awosika lets the clock wind down. They hand it off, and this is going to be a nice 1st down run. Breaks the ankles of Danny Kaufman. That is Awosika, the freshman from Mississippi, with the 1st. From the 37 now, here's a quick drop. Fires for the tight end Hip, who gains 9 yards. That is his 5th catch of the day. As you can see, Awosika's numbers outpace Reno's, but they currently trail. 2nd and 1, a beautiful strike and a nice catch in traffic. Gets Ole Miss in the red zone. They go hurry up, trying to catch the Gamecocks on the back foot. They hand it off for Awosika, and he will only get 3. 2nd and 7. Now we come up on 5 minutes. It's a fake. They throw it out wide, and it's actually not going to count as Awosika waited a little too long to throw that one, and they're going to get John Wayne Oliver on the ineligible man downfield. Excuse me, that's Jaden Lord. It's number 68, not number 66. 3rd and 6 instead. Awosika in the pocket. Only a 3-man rush. Has all day to throw. He waits, and he just dumps it out of bounds. So Ole Miss will take it 4th and 6, but they're actually going to go for it here. A field goal doesn't really do you much. There's only 4 minutes left in this game, and the Rebels are going to gamble for it. Empty backfield. Awosika to throw. He backs up. Avoids pressure, but then eats a sack from Awosika. Finally, the Gamecocks sack Awosika, and it couldn't come at a better time. Now, unfortunately, they have a chance to end the game potentially, but they go 3 and out. So Ole Miss will get the football back at the 2-minute warning after a disastrous offensive possession. 2nd and 4 after the warning, and here's a first down out wide to Biggs, who also gets out of bounds, and Awosika has crossed the 300-yard mark. From the 46 now, Awosika with a man in his face, finds his tight end hip up the middle, out to the 34, and Ole Miss will get back to the football. Next play, short in the flat, another catch for Hip, who falls down on his 6th grab for 71 yards. Ole Miss now letting some clock go. 1:13 up the seam. A beautiful throw behind Perkins. And now the Rebels are in the red zone. And his goal to go from the 7. Surely we don't blow another lead, as Perkins will end that run after a gain of 1. Inside 40 seconds, Ole Miss letting the clock run down. 2nd and goal. Short. This one's caught. It is a touchdown for Ole Miss. They take the lead with less than 40 seconds to go. The defense cracks again. And it's 20-17, and the Gamecock offense has 36 seconds and 3 timeouts to do something. They start from their 20, and Reno is immediately sacked. Nobody picks up the blitzer. The Gamecocks ought to use a timeout. Now they're back to the 11. Inside 30 seconds. Reno to throw. Just dumps it off short for man. It's a foot race for the sideline, and he will just get there. Spun out of bounds with 3rd and 11 with 22 now. Reno next play across the middle finds Biquette with a great catch. And the South Carolina offense are going to go no huddle. They want to try to preserve the timeouts. Inside 15 seconds. Reno gets hit as he throws. Now 13 seconds. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Reno throws a deep ball. He's got Martino is caught. Martino outruns the defense 66 yards. And South Carolina answers right back with the lead. They didn't give in this time. It's 24-20 now after the deep bomb to Ted Martino. And how about the offense answering back with 5 seconds left to go? Ole Miss, now they need a miracle, as this one will be fielded at the 2. They're going to take this out, so the clock will run. It's down to 2 seconds, which means there's one more play left for a Hail Mary. Surely we don't see this happen again, right? Well, Awosika to throw. He backs up, goes to air. Miller gets hit, and it's incomplete. And South Carolina, by the skin of their teeth, will win this game 24-20 in another instant classic against Ole Miss. If you watch this exact same situation in year number 1, it was another nail-biter. This time, another one, and the Gamecocks come out on top again. How about Dante Reno? He gets all the flack from how he's played this season, but he comes up clutch today. Huge touchdown throw to Ted Martino. I don't know why Ole Miss jammed on 2nd down with like 13 seconds to go. You just got to play prevent defense. And their best corner, Tavares Banks, gets beat deep by Ted Martino. Jacksonville State transfer with another huge touchdown. And we escape with a victory. Again, the defense, they crack late. And they gave up the lead. But thankfully, we were able to come back somehow and win this game. Now, also around the country, Wisconsin upset Michigan, and then Indiana gets a big win this week. And then the biggest game of the week coming up, Auburn and Georgia. Here are your Week 10 scores. NC State up to number 5 now as they beat Boston College on Thursday. Also on Thursday night, Oregon knocked off Illinois, and North Texas back in the rankings after beating UTSA. On Saturday, Florida State knocks off Clemson 38-24, a big loss for the Tigers. TCU squeaks by Arizona. And in the MAC, we see Miami, Ohio knock off Ball State in their rivalry matchup. Central Michigan gets it done against Bowling Green. And the Big 12, Utah continues to be one of the top teams in that conference. They beat Central Florida. Kennesaw State 4-1 in the Conference USA. Watch out for the Owls. And then in typical military fashion, 9-7 is your score. Air Force gets the victory. Buffalo beats Eastern Michigan. Missouri puts up 59 on Vanderbilt. We've got to watch out for the Tigers in a couple weeks. 25-3 win for Middle Tennessee State over FIU. And then San Jose State with a Mountain West victory over against Nevada. Western Kentucky now up to number 12. They escape Sam Houston by a point. James Madison knocks off App State at home in the Sun Belt. And then North Carolina goes down at home to Stanford. A big road win for the Cardinal. The Tar Heels' playoff chances essentially done. Pittsburgh puts up 49 on UConn, and then Oklahoma State gets it done against Arizona State. Minnesota knocks off Iowa. The Hawkeyes' disappointing season continues. Ohio State gets a big, much-needed win on the road against UCLA. Southern Miss over Louisiana. And then the Southwest Classic. Arkansas now up to number 3 as they beat the Aggies. Texas doubles up Mississippi State this week. Wisconsin, we saw their big upset against Washington. The Huskies fall down to number 16. Temple over FAU in the AAC. Cincinnati over Kansas State in the Big 12. And then the battle of other Big 12 opponents is Houston over BYU. Toledo, now the number 1 team in the MAC. They beat Ohio this week. Then Colorado State wins the battle of the Bronze Boot against Wyoming. Georgia still at number 1. They take care of Florida, who are now 0-9 in Jacksonville. 52 points for Northwestern against Nebraska with a victory. And then Notre Dame over Virginia Tech. Big road win for the Irish. Auburn with the victory over Kentucky before their matchup against Georgia this week. Iowa State knocks off Baylor by 4. UAB with a point victory against Tulane, trying to right the ship out there. Wake Forest knocks off Duke in a rivalry game. The Blue Devils now out of the rankings. Texas State over South Alabama. Memphis knocks off South Florida. Oregon State still undefeated. They beat Fresno State in the Pac-12. UNLV beats Hawaii in a rivalry matchup. And then how about this score? 65-63. My goodness, that's a lot of points. And it's Georgia Tech who came out on top. Miami over Virginia as the Hurricanes look to defend their title. They're now up to number 4. LSU we'll see next week. They squeak by Oklahoma. And then Northern Illinois beats UTEP in the Mountain West. UMass over Western Michigan in conference play. Purdue beats Michigan by a point. Big win for the Boilermakers. And then we see Louisiana Monroe knock off Arkansas State. The Red Wolves no longer undefeated as they say bye-bye to the playoff. Tennessee with a big win against Alabama, 37-24. California over Louisville in ACC play. Colorado knocks off Texas Tech. And in the game of the week, it was Indiana who they beat. Penn State, the Nittany Lions go down. The Hoosiers with a huge win to sway the tide in the Big Ten. Maryland gets another victory against Michigan State. Watch out for the Terps. And then Coastal Carolina ends the week over Marshall. Here are players of the week. Dalton Marshall had 2 sacks for Indiana in that win. And then Jalen Mond with 5 touchdowns in that ridiculous game against Georgia Tech. Your SEC players are Dave Gaskin against us and Aiden Glover of Missouri. Here's your new rankings this week. As you can see, Penn State takes the biggest loss. And more about the Big Ten. They keep getting high, and then they knock themselves out. They've been the conference that has just beat themselves from within. If they don't be careful, the Big Ten will not get a first-round bye in the college football playoff. And speaking of the playoff, here's a look at what the bracket looks like. As you can see right now, Western Kentucky gets that final bye. Big Ten teams just beating themselves too much. And then Oregon State of the Pac-12, if they were considered a legitimate conference, they'd have a chance at a bye too. So the Big Ten, they want to get a first-round bye. They need to sort of not beat each other up, but obviously you want to play for the W. Here are the big games this week. Auburn, Georgia, we touched on. Colorado, Cincinnati is a big Big 12 matchup. And speaking of the Big Ten, ranked Rutgers host number 21 Purdue, which means the Scarlet Knights will probably win. And then number 5 NC State will host Duke, coming off a loss in the Battle of North Carolina squads. This week we'll stay at home to face the 5-4 and 2-3 LSU Tigers, as we are fresh off of that insane ending to our game, and hopefully we can keep the momentum against LSU. But honestly, this is a very talented team that looks a lot like us. They're essentially in the same position. We have identical records if you take away the conference record. And honestly, I think this is a pick-em game. It could go either way. LSU's dealing with some injuries, but they have a very talented defense, including probably the best linebacker in the country in Mike Hayden. So it's not going to be easy. We'll have to take on the Tigers next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. That ending was insane. If you did enjoy, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.